Oh, I'm so glad to be back in Panzer Corps 2, guys. We have an interesting mission here, to say the least. Berlin has fallen. The thing is that Germans have not yet surrendered in this area, in Prague, Czech Republic. And this gives us an opportunity, as the Red Army, to completely finish them off. The goal here in the Prague offensive is to destroy 98 German units. I mean, as many of you know, many, and I mean many Germans died during the Battle of Berlin, and of course previous battles when the Red Army was of course on the way. Thing about this particular battle is we need to purchase our own units and decide our own approach here. So this should be interesting, to say the least. I'm going to get some regular 43s, and we're going to call this one Vengeance on the Reich. I want to just look at all the different places where I could actually drop a unit. There's a lot of enemy tanks, and I definitely want to take them out, but I think we can sort of move up slowly. I want to get some of the mothers, the T-34 tank. Look at that. We could get KV-1s as well. We could also get T-34 85s. These are going to be 700, but we have plenty of money to spend. So I'm thinking I want to bring this, the 75s over here. There's a trench line. If we're going to put tanks here, we also need to put artillery. So let's also purchase some RD back here. First of all, I want to get a few more T-34s. I definitely want to have a major tank assault from the north, and especially with the trenches there, we're going to need two things: artillery and air support. But for now, we'll focus on the artillery. The ISU, absolutely beautiful, but I think I'm going to bring a Katyusha, and we can actually give an we can actually get an overstrength Katyusha, something especially strong. I'm doing it. And as for the Katyusha, back here where our tanks are, we're going to have to wait till next turn until we can actually start attacking. But let me let you know one thing. The entire Red Army is desperate to smash, and I mean totally smash, the Germans here. So we're going to bring additional units. We've got to come down from the north. We've got to try to take Dresden, which has been hit by numerous bombings already for quite a while. We're actually going to upgrade our infantry units. No, sorry. Let's keep the infantry units as they are. Bring in some additional tanks. We've got to bring in some T-34 85s. I really think these are going to be the key to victory. But of course, we're still going to need infantry to get into the cities like Prague, things like that. Nonetheless, let's start setting up. We've got some, of course, more trenches over here. I'm starting to believe that the trenches will be our biggest problem. If you guys enjoy this setup phase, I think it's really important to a game like this, then make sure to let me know in the comments down below. But if you want me to skip this and just jump right into the battle, you can, of course, let me know that too. Just to not upset anybody, what I'm going to do here is pause, set up the rest of my forces, and begin the battle in earnest. Alright guys, it's time to get some revenge. The Germans have done so many terrible things to our men. I'm sending out the cavalry here just to get a scouting position from the woods as to what we're facing. We've got some Wehrmacht infantry over here. I get the feeling that our tank could take really quick care of them. But if we can instead get our tanks out here, we also got some tank destroyers to put the hurting on the enemy. That would be even better. And it looks like some desperate Wehrmacht troops are over here trying to get closer to us. Let's give them a taste of the Katyusha, and maybe after this, they won't be so inclined to get this close. Beautiful. I'd love to bring over a Wehrmacht unit to deal with them, but it looks like we're going to let our tanks deal with them. I won't let the tank destroyer do anything because he is just going to cause more problems. But every single dead German unit gets us closer and closer to Prague, the last Axis capital. And I actually didn't know this. I had always thought Berlin was sort of the last to fall, but there were still units in Czech units, pro-fascist Czech units in Prague that kept the fight up for a little while longer. So let's just try to finish off all opposition. At some point, our tanks will be in a perfect position to face their armor if they come streaming in next turn. I'm not too intimidated by them. I just want to destroy them. Not a single prisoner whatsoever. We take no prisoners. And if you want to try and see the absolute devastation that the Germans faced when the Soviets actually started taking these areas, you've got to read Ivan's War. I highly recommend that book. And we could actually suppress these guys and try to overrun them. The 12th Grenadier, that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take my ISU and just try and suppress them and move forward with the engineers. Even at a loss, we are going to burn them out. It's time for the Soviet Union to take control. We don't care. We don't want any peace offers. We want to destroy you. We want to eliminate you from the earth. So here we go with one of our tactical bombers. They do have an AA gun. Didn't seem to have done much there. So I guess, I don't know if the AA gun is out of commission or simply not operating as he should. But we're going to get our regulars up forward, up close and personal. Start attacking. Although, you know what? I'll give them a little extra help. I'll actually try to get our tank over here. We might take some losses, but we can always get reinforcements. And that's going to give us the mass attack bonus against this trench. Definitely want to wipe out the trench before we make it deeper into German territory. Or really, in this case, Czech territory. Let's see if we got anybody else that could come forward. We could bring the tank destroyer forward. He could actually manage to get a kill. But I'm going to put him over here. So this way, if the armor attacks us, we'll be able to use the anti-tank unit to return fire. And we could still damage their infantry quite a bit here. So I think it's a start. It's not the greatest start, but it is a beginning in this final battle to stop the Reich. Over here in the center, I really didn't do much. Just kind of trying to find out what the enemy has. And it looks like they've got bunkers as well as an anti-tank weapon. So, against my own better judgment, I'm going to go ahead and start attacking the bunker, try to wipe him out, and in that case, if we bring any more units through here, they should be able to get through a lot easier. Of course, getting rid of that anti-tank gun would also make things a lot easier. And as you can see, another trench. Let's get our infantry right up close and personal there to the trench. And sure enough, we've got some infantry here with plenty of anti-tank support. So what I'm going to try to do is get as close as possible. We'll carry out some bombing runs. We can suppress them, but I'd rather actually go for the AT guns and drop some rounds from the Yurmalev. Massive bombs from our Yurmalev there. Just look at that. Doing some damage to the fascist foe. And I think we'll even try to bring up our Katyusha. If we can get him close enough. I don't want to get him to the front line, though. Because then the infantry could attack. So instead, start softening up the trench lines over here. I'm sure the Germans are terrified. They've already heard that Berlin has fallen. They may have heard that Hitler has killed himself. I'm not sure if we're that far ahead. And on the way, they've got plenty of bunkers to stop us getting into the Czech Republic. But that's going to end today. We're putting an end to this no matter what. The anti-fascist push must succeed. Keep going for those bunkers with our infantry. Again, reading that book, Ivan's War, you start to realize that at this point, you know, life and death didn't matter. It didn't matter if one of the Soviet troops got killed. When they were this close to Berlin, it was just human wave attacks non-stop to finally actually get into the city. And we did overrun that area. It's not a strategic point, but anytime you get rid of one of those bunkers, that's got to help out big time. Looking to see if we can get any new units. We can't. We can obviously bring in some reinforcements if we'd like. But actually, I'm going to do something a little controversial here. I'm either going to try to take out his AA gun here near Dresden, or I'm going to try to go for one of the Panzer IIIs. Doesn't look like they have any of their Tigers nearby, but they do have the Jagdpanzer approaching. So let's go for the Panzer III, try to deal some damage there. Hopefully that will keep him out of the battle, or at least damage him quite a bit. I'd love to bring in some more infantry, some more troops, but this is all we've been given for now, guys. If Uncle Joe's going to give us some more units, we're going to have to really outperform the enemy here. Alright, all we can do here is end the turn. I can't wait to see what the Germans do. As you can see here, this is a 40-turn mission. This is not a campaign, it's just a battle. One of the scenarios available. I wonder if we can complete this thing. Clearly, the Germans are going to put up a hell of a fight. Maybe even a stronger fight here than they would in Berlin. Let's see how it goes. And look at this. So I didn't realize this, guys. This is amazing. The Czechs are actually also fighting the Germans. They've risen up. I'm not sure if they're supporting us, but they're certainly fighting against the Germans. Maybe we're going for independence here, or they're going for independence, but let me tell you something. Uncle Joe's not going to be too happy with that. The Czech Republic can't be independent. It's got to be joined into the glorious Iron Curtain, but at least we're saving them from fascism. The question is, how is this going to go in the long run? Looks like those tanks took the bait. They're absolutely coming out to fight. Can we beat all the German tanks outside Prague and completely liberate the city? I'd love to get there while the actual Czech resistance is still alive. That would really mean a lot to the defenders. So we're going to do everything we can. Glorious Soviet Union. Here we go, guys. We should be able to get an instant kill on this guy. We're going to have to fix that SU very soon. In the meantime, get over here with the T-34-85. Again, each one of these enemy bits of armor is a serious threat to us. I mean it. A real serious threat. I'm actually going to move the anti-tank gun out of the way. I don't think we can get a kill there as much as I'd love to, so I'll try to get the next best thing. Damage the enemy infantry there. Looks like they're going straight for our Katyushas. Let's give them a nice Katyusha barrage. Also, we have a fighter plane here, the LA-7. I didn't want to bring this guy out unless absolutely necessary, but this seems like the perfect time. So there we go, a little bit of damage. And we've got that bomber here. Can we do something and maybe wipe out that Panther G? There are AA units in the area, but I know that our glorious, heroic 2M3 pilots, our ill 2M3 pilots, can get the kill here. There's the Ostwind, and we got the kill. That is beautiful. Somebody deserves Hero of the Soviet Union medal there. And in the meantime, I want to go ahead and replace the units in the T-34. I'm actually going to even give them elite units. It's going to cost 524, but man, is it going to make a difference. We've also got to do something about this trench. One thing I'm going to do is get the cavalry behind and immediately attack their anti-air units. This way, the Luftwaffe, excuse me, the Soviet Air Force cannot be stopped. I've been playing with the Germans so many times in this game that sometimes I forget what side I'm on. But here we go. We're getting closer to the trench. To avoid any damage to the units back here, I'm just going to try to kill these units essentially escaping from the trench. Keep in mind that one of our goals in this game is to try and kill 98 units. We're going to go in here with the engineers against the grenadiers. The actual forest, or, yeah, well, the forest is going to give us some cover, and I'm hoping that the engineers over here can finish them off. It doesn't look like it, though, but I'm going to keep that forest cover so that we get the defensive bonus. Man, just one plane that can make it out here could really ruin their day. In the meantime, let's keep the attack against the bunkers here. Might take a few turns, and it's also going to take a few turns of rest and recuperation, where we're just bringing additional units here. But look at that. We actually destroyed another bunker. That's a great move. And let's look over here at this trench line. We want to weaken them for sure, but again, I want to keep on trying to hit that artillery piece. And this Yermolev, he's a huge plane, he's got a bunch of bombs, but doesn't have the greatest aim in the world. And they brought an Ostwind flak. Actually, it's a Mobilwagen. I've never heard of this. It looks like a massive Ostwind flak to deal with us. So let's keep trying to overrun these guys. We could just skip the trench and continue to the airbase. I'm going to try to do just that. So I'm skipping the trench. I will try to engage it with my infantry, but that's about it. Katyusha has he fired? Not yet. Fire the Katyusha. This is why we need even more artillery just for all these trench situations. In fact, I'm even going to bring in the T-34. I don't usually do this, but specifically to attack that unit. And I know we're getting hit with the AT gun, but I think this is important. Hurrah! For Mother Russia, brothers! Go, brat. Luckily, their anti-tank infantry is over here. And look at that. We can take those trenches. That's going to help big time. We're going to get the defensive bonus of the trench against any future enemies. And 120-120. We still can't bring in any units, but we are making money. That's going to be quite important. Look at this. Also, potentially some artillery strikes. No. What about this Katyusha? No, he's going to have to wait a turn for sure. Nonetheless, I think we got off to first few very, very good turns. The question is, we have so much left to take, and can we take it, specifically in a reasonable amount of time? Can we destroy every pocket of German resistance here in the Czech Republic? I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much. Za rodinu. Hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe. We need that support, and I'll catch you at episode 2.